Are you looking to win your mini leagues and climb up the ranks? Here are 6 differential picks you need to be bringing in for Game Week 14. Let's get into it.
Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game, where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top, guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
G'day mate, welcome back to the channel. I'm FPL Root and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, I'm going to go through 6 differential picks that you can bring in to help kind of gain a bit of momentum, try and gain some points up on your rivals, whether that's in your mini league or in the ranks. So these players are all under 10% owned. Some of them are even under 5% owned. And they're players that you're going to probably want to bring in order to, try and get that edge. So first up, we will talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold. He comes in at 7.9 million and he's 8.5% owned. So Trent is a player that a lot of us has probably owned over the years, and what a FPL asset he has been for us. He kind of redefined the role of a defender, the amount of assists, the amount of goals he used to score. Obviously, this season hasn't been that great. He's only got 1 goal, 1 assist, but he did get a goal against Man City away from home in Game Week 13. But that's not why I'm saying you should bring him in. It's because of the fixtures. So Fulham at home, Sheffield United away, Palace away. Then they've got a tough few games. So Man United at home and Arsenal at home, but they're both at home, which is great. And then also from Game Week 19 onwards, they have some really good games. So Burnley away, Newcastle at home, and then Bournemouth away. So far this season, Liverpool's defence has actually been really, really good. They've only conceded 11 goals and they've kept 5 clean sheets. So really, really well. For me, their defence is actually pretty solid. Van Dijk's been incredible this season. Whether that's Matip next to him or Konate, he's looked solid too. Also, Robertson being out, Tsimikas is a well-rounded replacement. Don't really lack that much without Robertson. And then obviously you got Trent on and playing right back, kind of coming into midfield sometimes too. For me, I think Trent is a massive, massive punt, which is why I put him in this. It's a differential pick. It's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. It's way, way overpriced for what he's done this season. But we know Trent can deliver. We know he can rack up the goals. He can rack up the assists. And accompanied with Liverpool's decent clean sheet record, I think Trent is a differential pick that if you do have the money, someone that you should be bringing in. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, though. Do you think Trent is a good option, and is he worth that money? I don't think so, but he is a massive, massive differential and a great, great player when he wants to be. Yes, we've got Gabriel Jesus, the Arsenal forward. So he's actually just come back from injury. Obviously, we know him from last season. He's done really, really well, but this season he hasn't really done it, I'd say. He's been out injured a lot of the times. Only got 1 goal, 1 assist. He started 5 games, so even that's not the best return, to be honest. But he is back from injury. He is a massive, massive differential, 2.2% owned, 7.8 million as well. So really, really good price. Cheaper than someone like Watkins, cheaper than Darwin as well, around the same price as Isak. And for me, it's the fixtures, to be honest. Wolves at home, Luton away, Villa away, Brighton at home. So some really, really good fixtures in there. I think he's first choice. Yes, you're always going to worry that Trossard can play there, Havertz can play there, but I think Jesus is integral to what Arsenal do. The reason I think he is such a massive punt and a massive differential is obviously his ownership, but also the fact that I'd say he doesn't score enough goals, I'd say, but he can, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but he can get the goals, he can get the assists, he can rack up points, but we haven't really seen him do it this season. But if you do jump onto him and he does start to perform, it's a really, really great option. And especially with Arsenal's next 3 fixtures of Wolves, Luton and Villa. Also got Brighton after that. I think they can score loads of goals. And I think Jesus will be amongst them goals. It's just hoping he can stay fit and he can start putting the ball in the back of the net as he does get the chances. It's not nothing to do with him not getting chances. I'm not too sure he is clinical enough, but hopefully if you do pick him, he is a good option and he does do the business. Start, we've got Morgan Gibbs-White, the Nottingham Forest midfielder. So Forest have actually been scoring a lot of goals recently. They've been doing Not great, but they've been scoring a load of goals. So they scored 4 goals in the last 2 games, 6 goals in the last 3 games. So 2 goals a game averaging over the last 3 was really, really good. Gibbs White got a massive haul in the last game week 13, 1 goal, 1 assist for 12 points. And he also got an assist in game week 12. He is a player that has kind of been an option every now and again, but not being a consistent option. However, for the next few game weeks, I do think he is a good option. Everton at home, Fulham away, Wolves away, Spurs at home, and then they've got, which is very, very crucial, in the blank game week, they've got Bournemouth at home. So really, really good fixture there. Like I said, Forest have been scoring goals the last few game weeks, and Gibbs White 5.7 million, 1.3% owned. He's on penalties as well. I think he is a really, really nice differential. Maybe if you're taking out someone like Matoma and you want to kind of save a bit of cash, Eze's now come off injured. We've just heard. Not too sure if he'll be back for game week 14. So if you want to drop down Eze to someone, I think Gibbs White is a really, really nice differential. He's on pens. Forest have been scoring a load of goals recently, and their fixtures over the next 3 do look really, really good. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Next up, we've got Mohamed Kudus, the West Ham midfielder, coming in at 6.6 million and only 2.4% owned. We all know West Ham have some really, really nice fixtures coming up. So Palace at home, Spurs away, Fulham away, Wolves at home. So some really nice fixtures in there. So obviously Spurs away might not be the easiest game, but 3 London derbies in a row, and then obviously Wolves at home. West Ham have won their last 2 games. They really, really needed them wings. I thought they were going to lose against Burnley, but Kudus was a big part of pulling it back. He got 2 assists. And so far this season, he's got 3 assists and 2 goals. And he's only started 4 games. So 5 returns in 4 games is really, really good. And it has kind of caught my eye. He's an absolute baller. We all know this from the World Cup, from seeing him playing in Europe too. We know that he is a baller. It's just we wasn't sure if he'd get the consistent starts, and he has been doing that in the last 4 games, so that's great. He's obviously started them last 4 games, but before that he wasn't starting. Now with Bowen injured, Antonio injured, I think Kudus is a sure starter in this team, and I think he is going to be one of West Ham's biggest attacking threats. He looks really, really good on the ball. He looks good kind of dropping into the number 10 spot. We've also seen him play up front in Europe. So having a player that is 6.6 million and plays up front for West Ham is an absolute bargain. It's just, can he do it consistently and kind of keep up this, I say, good form? But you've always got to take into consideration that Bowen does come back. It could see Kudus kind of pushed out maybe to the left or pushed in the middle. Or even if Antonio comes back, he might not be able to play up front when he does get the chance. So it's something to take into consideration. And West Ham, although they've won their last 2 games, they have looked a bit shaky, to be honest, as they were losing against Burnley in game week 13 and they were losing against Forest in game week 12. 2 games they should be winning, which they did win. Don't get me wrong, they did win, but 2 games they should be winning comfortably. But I do think if you are looking for, like I said, with the last player, Gibbs White, if you're looking for a Bowen replacement, a Matoma replacement, an Eze replacement, I think Kudus could be your go-to. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Next up, we've got Raheem the Dream Sterling. So a player that has looked really good under Pochettino this season. He started 12 games out of the 13 Premier League games that Chelsea have played. He scored 5 goals and assisted 4 times. He comes in at 7 million, which is an absolute bargain for Sterling. I remember the days of Sterling being 9 million plus. Even one season, I think he came in at 10 million. So having the chance to own Sterling for 7 million is incredible, and his ownership is so small for what great player he is been this season and has been in his career. So his ownership is 8.9%, which is really, really low. He's shown he's on great form. So he scored against Newcastle in game week 13. He scored against City in game week 12. Scored assisted against Spurs in game week 11. So it shows that he can do it against anyone. And obviously we know his massive haul he got in game week 3 against Luton was 2 goals, 1 assist, and everyone flocked to bring him in. So I'm sure there's a lot of you watching this now that are maybe a bit scarred by Sterling, but I'm here to tell you that I think this is different. I think under Pochettino's got his his style of play implemented a little bit better now, I feel. We've obviously seen them score a bucket load of goals in the last few game weeks. Obviously, 4 against Spurs, 4 against City, and they just scored 1 against Newcastle, which is not an easy feat. Scoring at St James's Park, they keep a lot of clean sheets there. But Sterling, I think, is the player that you should be looking at to bring in if you do want to kind of get a differential on other players. A lot of people have gone Palmer, who I think is a good option. He's on penalties, but I think Sterling has that cutting edge in front of goal. He gets into more of them positions, them goal scoring positions. So if I had to rank them, I probably would go Sterling over Palmer. But like I said, the fixtures are good, but it's just the next 2 are not great. But after that, they're really, really good. So Brighton at home, again, Brighton conceded a lot of goals, so that might not be a bad fixture. Man United away, Everton away, and then they've got some really, really nice fixtures. So Sheffield United at home, Wolves away, Palace at home, Luton away, Fulham at home. So incredible run of games, kind of from game week 16 onwards. I think Sterling can be an option for us. I think if you are looking for, like I said, a Bowen replacement specifically, maybe with a Matoma, then even Sterling could be your person to go for, a real differential too. And just don't be scarred from what happened earlier on in the season, as you've got to take situations as they come, and hopefully he can deliver for us if you do bring him in. Let me know what you think on Sterling in the comment section below. So David Raya at 4.9 million, I think, is a massive, massive differential goalkeeper. You don't really associate goalkeepers with being differential, but I think David Raya is that. So a lot of people might have seen that Ramsdale started the last game against Brentford. Arsenal played. That was because Raya couldn't play against his parent club. It was nothing to do with his form. And with how Ramsdale performed, he made a few mistakes. If I pull it nicely, a few mistakes. I think Raya is going to come back in and get his place. And at 4.3%, having the team with the most clean sheets, having the team with the least conceded goals, 4.9 million is an absolute bargain. And with Arsenal's fixtures coming up, I think it could be a huge differential for you. For a lot of people that do have Gabriel, have Saliba, if you end up going Raya and maybe Saliba or Gabriel, you could either save money or you can have that nailed on spot where Gabriel might not give you that. So like I said, Wolves at home, Luton away, Villa away, Brighton at home, and then Liverpool away. So Liverpool and Brighton could be tough, but them next 4 games do look really, really good for Arsenal. And they've shown how well they can do defensively this season, how many clean sheets they've kept, how many goals. They've only conceded 10 goals in 13 games, which is a really, really good feat. And it doesn't show on Raya's stats, obviously, because at the start of the season, it was Ramsdale in goal. Yesterday, it was not yesterday, when game week 13 happened, was Ramsdale in goal. So he did keep that clean sheet. So it doesn't really show on Raya's stats, but Arsenal as a whole are really good defensively. And I think Raya is someone you should be looking to bring in if you are looking for a goalkeeper. Well, that was it for this video. Please make sure you smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and leave a comment section below. What do you think of these differentials? Cheers.